Welcome back to GT Recrafted. At the turn of the 2000s, Porsche built a car with one purpose in mind. Not comfort, not luxury, not even outright speed, but consistency. The Porsche 996 GT3 Cup Car was designed to be driven hard, lap after lap, as part of one of the most competitive one-make racing series in the world. Lightweight, naturally aspirated, and stripped of everything it didn't need. This was a pure driver's machine. A car that was rewarding precision, punished mistakes, and demanded everything from the person behind the wheel. In this video, we're taking the road-going 996 and transforming it into its Cup Car counterpart in Gran Turismo 7. Building it to match the spirit of the original and putting it to test on the track. Because this isn't just about building a race car, it's about understanding what made it so good in the first place. For this particular build, I'm using the livery on screen by the Genie. It's a real close replica to its real-life counterpart, but you can use any livery you like. Once you've chosen your livery, ensure you got the correct parts. Type A for the front, Type A for the side, for the rear Type A, and the wing Type A as well. Going across to the bonnet pin, either will do. Tow hook, again, either will do. Any light bulb will choose. For this particular one, I'm going with yellow. License plate, Type B rear only. And for the caliper colors, you can choose either any ones you like. I'm going with yellow for this particular one. Moving over to wheels, we're going to go over to BBS, and we're going over to BBS racing wheels. You can choose the RECLs if you like, just to ensure that they're wide and they're 18-inch. Over to settings, make sure you got these parts installed. So you want to make sure you've got the high lift camshaft, the weight reduction stage 1, 2, and 3, and also the body rigidity. Make sure you got the racing clutch and flywheel, the racing air cleaner, racing muffler, and racing extractors. Fully customizable suspension. Copy across these suspension settings. That'll give you the best performance. Going down to fully customizable diff. Again, make sure you got the same settings as I got on the screen here. Make sure your gearbox is racing manual, not racing fully customizable, and ensure that you've got these as your performance adjustments. And down here, again, make sure you've got these parts all installed. This will give you a brake horsepower of 384 and a weight of 1,140, which is identical to the real-life counterpart. Over to the track, we're over at Spa. We've got a grid full of GT3 cars. Some are pre-built in-game, others are cars that I've built. And you can see there at the very end of the pack, we've got another 996 GT3 Cup Car. Although the car has less than 400 horsepower, the low weight makes it quite a quick and nimble car. As you'll see, it makes very quick work of the back end of the pack before the first few corners, and it's already down the hunt to get to the rest of the pack. The majority of these cars do have a lot more horsepower than we have, but again, that light weight just helps push it past a whole lot of them. As you can see, we're almost at the top of the pack. Now hunting down that Corvette. You'll see the Corvette seems to hold its ground for quite a fair bit of the track, but we are quickly catching up. Almost at the end of this first lap. Onto that last corner. And you'll see now we hunt down this Corvette quite quickly. Now one to go. So we're now pulling up right behind that AMG. And as we get past him, heading into that tight corner. And you'll see we start to slowly pull away. But the AMG does stick around for a little while, but we hold our ground. Depending on how you enter the corner, the car can be quite twitchy. So if you don't slow down enough, or if you try to downshift too quickly, you'll find that the back end will like to tick out a bit. So the trick is to slow down, don't overdo it, apply a lot of brake pressure, and downshift as you're braking. Then as you're entering the corner, ease in, and then full throttle out. Some of these long sweepings, you can actually go in pretty much full throttle. But you can see now the gap is getting wider and wider between me and the AMG. Especially as we enter some of these twisty corners. The AMG just can't keep up with the pace. Probably a good point now to mention that this particular build with the 384 horsepower, which in real life was more 385, the engine specs are based on the later generation 996 towards the end of its life cycle. However, the car itself has the same weight as it had throughout the whole generations, throughout its racing career. So on to our last lap. As you can see there, a little bit of traction loss, but the car just keeps going. The gap now is quite substantial between us and the AMG. I have to say, this is a really fun car to drive. The handling is really, really firm. Again, as I said, the only time that you'll find it's a little bit challenging is when you're going into the corners and you're not slowing down fast enough. So you do need to make sure that you're aware of that. However, other than that, once you get the hang of it, it is a really fun and nimble car. overdone a little bit there. Pushed it to its limits, and obviously we almost lost it, but we got control and we kept maintaining our pace. Trying to bring it home now. Into that second to last corner. And here we go. Across the line. Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.